Guys, this is Brooke again from the Wrestling Corner, and going to say the results for SmackDown on February 21st, 2012. Um, it was actually a event. It was actually this live Super SmackDown. It was on a Tuesday. So, yeah. So we open up the show tonight with the World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring with his girlfriend AJ Lee. Daniel clears his throat before explaining that when he announced his intentions to cash in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, no one believed him, but here he stands today as your World Heavyweight Championship heading into the main event of WrestleMania. Good luck on that one, Daniel. Bryan talks a bit more about him being a role model before listing off the men he defeated in the Chamber this week, and claims to be the real Rocky story, not Santino. He claims that he's going to watch Sheamus' dreams come WrestleMania time. Before he can elaborate on his opponent tonight, CM Punk interrupted by The Miz. The Miz hits the ring with his own mic to inform Bryan that he apparently knew all along that Bryan would become a world champion from their first day together on NXT. Sounds like a kiss butt. Anyway, Miz isn't here to gloat though. He's just here to say congratulations on being in the WrestleMania main event this year. Continuing to follow in his footsteps, Miz extends an offer to Bryan that when WrestleMania is done, they should form a tag team together, but Sheamus has heard enough backstage and comes out storming to interrupt both men. Sounds like someone wants attention. Anyway, Sheamus would also like to congratulate Bryan, it seems, but on being an arse, hypocrite, and coward, Miz gets in Sheamus' face, and Sheamus responds by taking him aside so the people who actually have WrestleMania matches can talk. When he turns around, Bryan hits him with a cheap shot, though, and takes off out of the ring with AJ, leaving Sheamus to attack Miz, toss him out of the ring as the world champion sneaks away again to wrap up our open segment. Nice way to kick off the show, and I'm curious now what kind of interactions Miz and Bryan were going to have forward. You always can guess. Miz getting jobbed and Miz actually winning WrestleMania. I'm gonna shut up. Forgot I'm behind and need to stick to this. Okay. Anyway, so then we have a match versus Sheamus. Miz losing. Then after the match, we have a backstage segment with Teddy Long and Oksana, and they do a little bit of flirting before John Laurinaitis and David Otunga walk in to interrupt and chastise Teddy for his unprofessional behavior. Teddy tells him that he has a special office set up for them tonight in the men's bathroom. Otunga tells him his office should be in a dumpster, and the two heels take off as we cut to the promo. Well, not promo, but commercial. Then it's a match with a tag team match with Kofi Kingston and R-Truth versus Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. And the winner is Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger by pinfall. Then we get a video package from the latest entry to the WWE Hall of Fame class, Ron Simmons. Then after that, we have a backstage segment with Santino and his Cobra doing a bit of target practicing with some plastic cups when Heath Slater enters and knocks down all the targets off of Santino's table, and would only return to something O'Donnell would do in Billy Madison. Then there was a match between Great Khali and Drew McIntyre, which it was a squash match because Great Khali won. Then there was a backstage with Big Show letting Cody know that he's a marked man for eliminating him in the Battle Royal on Raw last night, promising to break his neck. Then we have a match with Big Show versus Mark Henry by a no contestant. Hmm. So yeah. Hmm. And then we get a match with David Otunga versus Ezekiel Jackson. David Otunga won that. Then we get CM Punk with Matt Striker backstage, where Striker wants to know Punk's thoughts on his match with Daniel Bryan tonight. Punk talks about knowing Bryan for years, and then notes how he's just become the new rebel of SmackDown like he once was because of his unpopular vegan ideology. Punk writes up, I promise to teach Bryan how to lose tonight. Then it's Punk versus Bryan after that. Yeah. I'm not gonna go on to tell you who wins because that was one of the BS stuff I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, and that was the end of SmackDown. I didn't watch the end precisely because at that time I was annoyed with this whole CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. I know they're both good technical wrestlers, but the submission wrestler and all that, but there is a limit to how much you make a wrestler fight another wrestler for how many times over. Like, for example, um, Randy Orton versus John Cena. I've seen they were a good feud. It was just they wrestled so many times. It's predictable what was gonna happen. Same with this CM Punk, Daniel Bryan crap, whatever you call it. Um, it was good for the first two matches, but then once you get more than two matches like that in a row, kind of gets boring and it loses its touch and it's not much of an effect. So that's one thing I have to say about it. I'm trying to think if I have anything more input on that. So yeah, I think that match between CM Punk and all that is just a waste of my time and from the look of it, it was also starting a feud between Teddy Long and John Laurinaitis, which is I think is stupid to use two wrestlers. If seriously, if you got a problem with someone, especially if there is a GM and you're a GM of the other show, you don't need to use a wrestler to get your point across. Just fight with the GM. I don't see why you would put someone, especially if they're champions at that time, and put their necks on the line because you got a problem with someone how they run their show. If you got a problem with someone how they run their show, then you go against them. Don't use wrestlers. don't don't be a coward. But that's just me. No one's. It seems like no one thinks like me, so it's fine. So unless the WWE cares about standing up for their own dang self. But yeah. So well, that's all for that show. That's really short, but I can't help it. But yeah. All right. See you guys later. Bye.